Hi, how are you today, students? We are going to learn to write a recount. A recount is to tell someone about something, give an account of an event or experience. The topic is a fire. First, remember to use sensory words in your recount. Sensory words use all our 5 senses. They include sight, touch, smell, hearing, taste. You can include feeling too. Using sensory words increases your ability to write in details. It's also great practice for the usage of adjectives, so, if you struggle with using the right amount of description in your writing, this method and above exercises can really help. Our objectives today are: Step 1. Learn vocabulary for a fire. Step 2. Learn to write sentences with the vocabulary. Step 3. Learn to write essays. Word list for fire. Other words for fire are blaze, flames, inferno. Meanwhile, the verb that you can use should be in past tense to show actions that happened in the past. They are burnt down, ablazed, ravaged, raged, aflamed, spread, leapt, engulfed, rekindled. The adjectives are red, burning, bright, huge, large, intense, blazing, hot, flaming, roaring, fierce, crackling sound. For smoke, you can use verbs like billowed, rose, drifted, filled. Let's look at the adjectives: black, dark, suffocating, and thick. These are sentences that you can write using the words and adjectives. See whether the adjectives make the sentences and your recount better or not. 1. In no time, the fire had spread to the first floor where thick, black smoke billowed out from all corners. I saw blazing red flames rising above the house and the blaze was horrible. 2. A column of dark billowing smoke told me the story. There was a fire raging a short distance away. 3. The fire rose to about 20 meters and it lit up the whole area even though the sky was already dark. 4. For more than an hour the fire raged. These are nouns you can use in a recount about a fire. Pandemonium means wild and noisy disorder or confusion or uproar. Firemen, fire engine, brigade, hydrant, ladder, water hose, police personnel's. Charred remains is burnt and blackened. Remains is the parts left over after other parts have been removed, used, or destroyed. Ashes, shops, house, neighbors, evacuees, rescuer, electricity supply. These are verbs you can use in a recount about a fire. Doused, put out, extinguished. Trapped, suffocated, ruined, pumped water, sprayed water, injured, screamed, shouted, cordoned off. This phrase means to prevent access to or from an area or building by surrounding it with police or other guards. Damaged, destroyed, evacuated, rescued, cut off. Salvaged is to rescue from loss. Cried, informed, helped. These are words for feelings related to fire. Shocked, surprised, frightened, terrified, sympathetic, amazed, sad, dejected, bitter, dismal, heartbroken, melancholy, mournful, pessimistic, somber, sorrowful. These are some idioms too. 1. Reduced to tears. I was reduced to tears. 2. Cried one's eyes out. He cried his eyes out. 3. Heart sank. My heart sank seeing the fire. 4. Rooted to the spot. I stood rooted to the spot, ground watching the fire. 5. Stopped dead in tracks. I stopped dead in my tracks as I heard the sirens from a fire engine. Now, you can read the sample essays on the topic of a fire. Don't worry, if you cannot read all of them, you can still read them in my Google Classroom notes or on my English site. Essay Sample 1. It was twilight time and I was watching television in my house when I heard an explosion. More followed. So, I went outside to see what the matter was with my father. A column of dark billowing smoke told me the story. There was a fire raging a short distance away. I got onto my bicycle and pedaled in the direction of the smoke. A couple of kilometers later I came upon the fire. It was a row of motor workshops and they were burning furiously. The police and fire department had already cordoned off the area. I watched from a distance. A crowd had already gathered and we gaped with amazement at the spectacle presented by the burning shops. The fire rose to about 20 meters and it lit up the whole area even though the sky was already dark. The firemen desperately sprayed streams of water into the fire to control it. Now and then, explosions could be heard as gas cylinders blew up in the intense heat. For more than an hour the fire raged. I could see anxious people trying to get near the workshops only to be held back by the police. They were obviously the shop owners trying to save their shops. Hopelessly, they could do nothing but wait for the fire to be extinguished. Finally, the blaze died down and darkness enveloped us. The workshops were totally razed. Only red-hot embers remained where they once stood. The crowd thinned and I too got onto my bicycle and cycled home. For the other sample essays, you can read from this video at your own pace. Well, it is now exercise time. Read the question given here and write a recount. Do remember these few things. 1. Notes or sample essays are on my teacher Gan's site. 2. Try to write sentences or essay for the given questions. 3. Use past tense for the verbs, action words. 4. Use sensory words or idioms to make your essay better. We have reached the end of our lesson for today. I hope that you have learned how to write a recount and do more practices on writing. Bye for now.